Do you want to take your social media to the next level in 2023? Well, stay tuned as we delve into the social media trends that are coming down the track.
We're back in the hot seat, Emer. So
Yes.
Happy New Year. How are you, Emer? Any 2023 goals?
Well, one goal that I actually achieved is that the social media digital giggle is no longer in the house.
You won. Although I don't think the listeners or the viewers, if you're watching this on YouTube, they're going to miss the digital giggle. Who knows? We might bring the odd joke.
Well, actually, I got an email from somebody yesterday who actually said to me he listened to the podcast and thought they were hilarious but horrendous.
A double H.
Yeah.
Hilarious but horrendous. Wow. That feels.
But he said confidence. It was so on his wavelength that I thought, oh God, maybe. Well, you might. I know you will try to get the odd one in, but I'm not looking. So, yeah.
Well, it's a new year. Have you got any goals for this year?
Well, I'm on video. I said I would get there at some stage.
You did.
Yes.
Well done.
So
excellent.
There's two goals.
Yeah. Proud of you.
What about you? I mean, what's your goal for this year?
I think it's very much like I've always liked doing videos, but I think it's I have this new kind of branded hashtag Twyford tip. Mm-hmm. So I'm so far so good. I've been doing a video a week across multiple channels and embraced TikTok. Remember I was saying in 2022 I would go on TikTok, and I've done a number of videos on TikTok now, and I think it's a great way to learn about the channels. So
everyone go follow him on TikTok. Now I am on TikTok, but there's not a lot happening there at the minute. But if I can get over this hurdle, I'll get over the next hurdle. So that's actually one thing people have to realize. You can't just feel pressurized to do it all. Do it when you're ready.
100%. And so I think another goal for both of us, Emer, isn't that right, is we want listeners to feed into us maybe any topics or subjects that they want us to talk about, isn't that right? So
and if anybody's looking for that digital giggle, we'll make sure that bounces back right out of the inbox, that way. But in the meantime, if people want to email us in, Philip, what's the email address?
It's info@dublinsouthfm.ie. If you have any particular topics or questions or something you'd like us to cover when it comes to social media, drop us an email and we will go through those, and we'd be delighted to put our own way of thinking on an answer and make a show out of it. So do drop us an email.
Like we just like to just take away the veil of mystery and make it
exactly.
It's like, I remember when I started out going, what's this tag and lark, and what's a hashtag, and
it's come a long way, isn't it? It really has.
Well,
I suppose. Well, that's a good segue, Emer. You teed that one up nicely because.
Did I know, Mr. T?
You did. No, you placed that one perfect, because today's show we wanted to arm you with, I suppose, 5 key social media trends to keep an eye out for this year in 2023, that we think you should take note of. So I think I'll kick this one off if you don't mind, Emer.
Go ahead.
And it is obviously with no surprise, because I just mentioned that there. It is TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok has exploded, last year, and I think it's going to exponentially grow in 2023. There was some research done by eMarketer, and they've estimated that I hate all these kind of terms, Gen Z, the Gen Z crowd.
I call the Gen Zs the screenagers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like it's like, if you don't know what Gen Z is, it's 10 to 25-year-olds, but
we're just outside of that.
We're just outside. But they make up 44%, which I believe, users on the platform, and Facebook is seeing a continued decline in usage from this age group. So it's quite amazing. Facebook used to be the place to be a number of years back, and the paradigm. And it's also worth noting, I suppose, I'm 52 this year, would you believe?
No.
But that TikTok has also seen an increase in usage from the 35 plus age group. So it really is the channel that businesses this year needs to start going on and exploring.
Well, actually, you could also see it as like a search engine. So when you go in and you put in a phrase or anything to do with your industry, you get to see what kind of things are trending. And then you can also get ideas for your own videos. So it's actually a good research tool, even if you're not that excited about getting on TikTok, use it as a research tool.
100%. I've learned so much. Like and I'm sure a lot of people maybe my age, and you might be the same boat as myself, Emer, but I used to think, TikTok is just a load of kids just dancing.
Yeah.
But then when I actually delved in and exactly as you said, started to do search terms, what is SEO? Talk about, content marketing, social media tips, social media tools, which I love.
Yeah.
It was a wealth of information from
The
creators.
only problem is it's a rabbit hole. You go on there and 10 hours later, you haven't even had your breakfast.
Yeah, you need to be changing your name to Alice. Sorry, I promised I wouldn't go down.
Oh, I am in a wonderland, aren't I? But anyway, it is like, and that kind of leads us on actually on the other area of TikTok, which I haven't really kind of embraced. Maybe you have TikTok now. I'm just not going to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about yourself?
Not just. I'm still getting to grips with.
It's like the Be Real. Do you know Be Real?
It's
their version. It's like you got to be real.
The authentic kind of side of yourself. Well, certainly when I do the videos, I'm not really using filters or anything. It's kind of, I'll add music and captions and stuff.
You're so you don't have to worry about the hair and you don't have to worry about the makeup. You know.
No, it's all done for me.
It's au natural, is it? Here. Well, anyway,
what's the next trend that you have?
Yes, I'm just having a quick look here. It is definitely still on the theme of the V word video. Yeah. And then they're talking about here, as you say, short form video. Is really kind of just going to take off even further because we're all goldfish. Like, I mean, I honestly don't sit and watch something for 30 minutes. I just don't have the time. And then, I'd rather get 10 videos in as opposed to one, for 30 minutes because you're kind of like, we're all consuming. We're just like, oh, that one tip or that strategy or that idea. And then you can save, as you say, in TikTok, your videos or even download them onto your own camera roll kind of thing. But again, YouTube's shorts, which I always sounded very painful, is actually really kind of taken off, isn't it? It's like even going more like you're a YouTubey tuber fanatic, where I would just only go in and look at how to bake a cake. Sorry, I had to get that in this year.
I thought that was going to be one of my goals. Please stop using cake analogies. But no,
ice thing somehow, So
you're totally right though. It's funny because I have noticed with my exploration into YouTube Shorts in 2022. That YouTube themselves are doing exactly what Instagram did with Instagram Reels. They're putting a real focus for YouTube short creators. I find I get way more views on my YouTube shorts than I do on my long form videos.
Do you think it kind of is like, YouTube shorts has a more kinder algorithm in that regard?
I've certainly noticed that from my short videos, my TikToks and my YouTube shorts, TikTok is the best performing.
Okay.
I seem to average anywhere from 200-300 up to nearly maybe 1,000 views on TikTok. Modest enough, obviously very amateurish compared to some of the big, huge creators. On the YouTube shorts, a little bit similar, but I found that my reels have really dropped off. Now, I don't know if it's because I'm not leaping around the living room, kicking my legs around the place.
Just as well.
Exactly. The body can't take it.
Actually, people should go and check out your Instagram way back. Do you remember you with the sunglasses and the old high kicks?
I know. They were the days, huh? But
Yeah.
those they got massive views. But I think it was also one that did really well was because of the sound, the music used, and that's an interesting thing for
Ah.
business to be mindful, especially on TikTok, is
Hmm.
to the whole thing of trending sounds is very relevant because I do believe it does help if you're using a trending sound,
Hmm.
it does elevate how your video actually gets pushed out.
And I'm just going to be a devil's advocate here and say, look, if everybody used the same trending sound, is that not go against you? Because do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you would think so. You would think
you
so,
know,
but certainly I've seen. But there is some creators on TikTok in particular where they tend to use the same sound, and it all becomes like their branded sound for their
yeah.
videos
Mm,
because it works well with their type of content. So I
right.
suppose it's like everything just test really.
Yeah. If you don't give it a go, you'll never know.
You never know. Indeed. Like another trend I think that business needs to be mindful of, and it's not so much a trend as in people were saying that advertising in social
Hmm.
was sort of dying a death, but actually I think it's going to continue to be a very important focus for businesses in 2023, um, because particularly across all of the platforms, like Facebook has always been the pinnacle of, I suppose,
Yeah.
the advertising. They're constantly making changes to ad
Mm,
manager. They back in 2022, they actually now within your custom audiences, you are now able to target your Instagram followers where you couldn't do that
mm.
before. TikTok ads, I think, are going to be explode in 2023. I think that platform is going to continue to develop.
Do you think they're going to be a cheaper alternative to begin with, or do you think that they're going to be kind of the same kind of bracket price wise for
I th-
ads?
I think I think they will definitely start off and leverage it with specific price
Mm,
points that bring users in and
hmm.
maybe do a tiered level, because that was what made Facebook so attractive for a lot of people, was that
Yeah.
it didn't take a huge amount of investment to get started and to
Hmm.
maybe see some results, where something like LinkedIn advertising is generally regarded as being probably one of the most expensive
Yeah.
ad platforms based on your return.
Hmm.
um I think Google ads, once again, like search intent Google ads, pay
Mm.
per click, is once again not to be dismissed.
Although I
Um,
don't actually click the ads, I would go down, past the
yeah,
map and have a look at the organic, results and
yeah,
see what's out there rather than click on an ad.
yeah,
Um,
and that is a very interesting, I suppose,
because people don't
psyche.
like to be sold to. Do you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
well, what's it's very true. Like if Google is giving you the results that you're looking for based on your
Mm,
search terms, and you can see it from an organic as opposed to something sponsored, that
mm,
word paid for or sponsored. Yeah, I think for a lot of people it does put them off.
mm.
If they're trying to sell me something through an ad, am I going to be clicking on a link and be sold to, as opposed to I can just go in and do the research myself.
Yeah.
Um,
Although saying that, if you're on a mobile phone and you're in a rush somewhere, you're
mm,
going to likely click the ad because it's the first thing you see. So,
yes,
so there
I
are
suppose.
there are benefits, I suppose, in that regard to doing
Yeah.
ads.
Like what I just always say to people, I'm sure you'd agree, Mir, is the organic has a certain, there's going to be a certain level of where you use organic to build awareness. But we all know that organic, and I think in 2023, there's going to be a certain
Mm,
level where it's going to continue to decrease, unfortunately, in the
yeah.
reach you can get. So I think it's a case that business just need to be prepared that they may need to start to invest and use some type of advertising
Hmm.
on the platforms to gain a bit more reach, to generate leads, etc.
You could do it in a sense of 80-20 rule or something like that.
Yes,
If you were kind
100%.
of thinking,
Yeah,
for every fifth post you do, you make that an
yeah,
ad just to test the water. But then
exactly.
the
Yeah,
other angle is look at what maybe is your most engaging post and it's done the best
yeah,
organically. And then
exactly.
maybe trial that out as one to use to test
Exactly.
your
Yeah,
paid
100%.
paid aspect, you know?
100%. And test
Mm,
the perfect word to use there, Emer, because like one of the easiest ad platforms I find from my experience was Facebook. because you have the ability to target people who have visited your website,
Yeah.
visited a particular page,
Mm-hmm.
engaged with a video on your Facebook page.
Yeah.
So rather than kind of starting off completely cold, you could potentially put an ad in front of people who, well, they came to your site. Maybe they have some sort of interaction. So, well, they may not be your customers. They're interested in what you have to showcase or communicate. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that could be a good way to start, So
It's a bit like, as it's January, everyone is now thinking about, where will I go on my summer holidays? So you're going to go on to, say, one of the major travel sites and look up something, and then isn't it hilarious? A few minutes later, you go, here, I'll just boil the kettle, and I'm standing by the kettle, and you scroll through, and look, there's an ad about going to Ibiza, or
woo woo, Eber. Dust off that whistle and those glow sticks.
I think I'm gonna have to go on a diet first, because I'm just like going, there's no way I'm getting in a bikini at the minute,
A diet, right.
But yeah, but that terrible 4-letter word, but I have to say, like, it's you can't avoid it, as people always say, oh, my website, I just, and maybe they might do Google ads and they don't really consider, as you say, having a tracking code from Facebook on their website, which will give them a lot more insight into who's been checking them out and what has interested them as well.
No, 100%.
So, as I say, I can see, I'm like, I keep saying, try and avoid paying for ads if you can at the start, because you then just keep paying out for something and you've nothing organic, on as a post, if you keep relying on ads, that's not a good strategy either.
Yeah, there has to be balance on everything. And like we both preached, last year, have that strategy in place. So at least you know why you're using TikTok, or why you're decided to do Facebook ads, rather than just, well, everybody else is doing it, I better do it. So,
well, the old saying, content is king, but engagement is queen. So it's not just post and ghost, as I would say. You need to also engage on social media as you, the business. So for example, say you are a florist, you want to engage with other complementary businesses to you. So for example, wedding planners would be a good one, because they would be looking for a florist that they've actually got to know, like, and trust, then to say to their brides and grooms, listen, these guys, I can maybe cut you a deal, I don't know, but something like that. Local hotels, engaging with them. And I actually, way back, worked with a chauffeur company, and he was saying to me, oh, sure, why would you actually post or make comment as the business? And I went, because, say, for example, it was the Shelburne Hotel. I said, I'm not plugging the Shelburne here, I'm just saying the Shelburne that's just come into my head. And I said, say you went and you made a comment as, the finest chauffeurs, or whatever they're called. And their audience is going to see you, and then they're going to go, oh, I must check out finest chauffeurs, or something like that.
It makes huge sense. 100%.
And plus, then people then are going to go and have a look at what you have, and they might start following you, Philip, for all those hair tips. I don't know.
Please do.
And and then that's how your page gets more active, and people will start to inquire, go check out your website, maybe even go and follow you on Instagram from Facebook. Share out your posts, tell people all about you, word of mouth, all that kind of stuff.
100%.
So engagement is a really important aspect to focus on. Even if you're not posting every day, at least go in and engage with a couple of posts. Even go in and use the strategy. Ooh, I'm hanging around with you too much. Hashtag whatever your industry is in, and go in, or even your town or city. A geo hashtag. And see what's been posted there, and then you could go in and make a comment, and even share out maybe a relevant post to your page, and then they're going to get a notification. And even tagging them as well, Philip, you know?
percent. I think everyone loves to be mentioned or to be
Yes.
acknowledged. And I suppose that leads nicely on, because you have another interesting trend around authentic engagement for 2023. Well, I hope you do.
Oh, go on. I'm getting worried now.
It was in the script.
But I'm just having a quick look here. It comes down to listening, which, as you know, Philip, I don't do a lot of that. Your social listening, checking out what people are saying about you.
Yeah.
So, you want to be talked about. Yeah, you want to be talked about, but you do want to know about the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's there's no point in putting your head in the sand over it. I'd rather go in and find out the negative, and then that will help you turn it into a positive, because at the end of the day, nobody gets it right all the time. I know I don't get it right all the time. Do you get it right all the time?
No, I don't. I think I'd love to say I do, but but I think you do have, I think you're spot on. I think social listening in 2023 is a term that I think a lot of businesses will start to hear more of, or it'll become part of their language, because I think business need to now move from a point of just putting posts up on social, exactly as you say, posting and ghosting, where now they need to actively kind of engage with the responses on those, or to look and see what people are saying about their business, their brand, where they might not have been tagged, but they're using tools, for it to be like a free tool like a Google Alert, or Mention Brand 24. They're paid tools, but they allow you to see and get an understanding as to what the sentiment is, because people could be talking badly about your business or your customer service is rubbish, and you're not knowing, you're not aware of this. Whereas by actually actively searching out for that sort of user-generated content, whether it be good or bad, I think would be very important.
Yeah, I mean, you can even use the social channels themselves and just go in and put your name in. Say, for example, the Twitter, Elon Musk is always asking interesting questions himself.
Yes.
And no doubt, I don't know whether he's going to regret that in the end, but I do think it is super important just to sort of just test the water and see, is it like you've got good sentiment out there, and that people, and then you can build on that, because I know the sentiment regarding the digital giggle is I'm going to put a Google alert on that.
People love the digital giggle.
But it is it is super important. Use social media not just for your putting out things out there, but checking out things as well, and it's actually just their helpful tool. Don't be afraid of it, because there's always going to be something new coming down the track. But if you have an idea of putting in the search bar your business name, and just seeing what pops up, it could all be good. You just don't know.
Yeah. And I suppose on that, certainly, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, on Emer, but I would have seen companies whereby if they see some nasty comments maybe on Facebook, they or maybe complaints, they might go to delete those, as opposed to trying to come back in a professional way to try and take it offline to demonstrate to their community that they're treating the complaint seriously.
I would advise people to do it within 24 to 48 hours. Don't leave any longer, because I know it's not a social media platform, but Google business profiles, when you go into Google and you put in the name, people are going to go check out your reviews, and they're going to see what people are saying. So it's well worth keeping an eye on that and managing that, because at the end of the day, it's probably one of the first thing that people will see, and you want it to, okay, you can't control the platform, but as you say, go in and make a comment back to show that you acknowledge, what they have been saying. And, it could have been a mistake or an oversight. And it's good to show everybody else that you take someone's concerns seriously,
100%. What we'd recommend as well, if you are listening to this or you're watching this on YouTube, is go back to one of our earlier shows where we did an interview with Jay Bear. That's BAER for Bear. Jay is an incredible expert, especially around the whole area of customer service and user experience. And he has some fantastic nuggets in that interview, particularly around how to deal with kind of complaints, or how many times should you respond online to a complaint before you don't continue on. So
didn't he come up with my little segment before called Emer's Experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly?
That's
there
right.
You go.
Yeah. So thank you, Jay. So definitely check that episode out.
Like
I think 2022 saw the emergence of AI, and I think that is another big trend we're going to see to continue to in 2023.
AI.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts about this? Because people are are they all jumping on the bandwagon and going, oh, it'll be a shortcut to this and a shortcut to that?
Yeah, it's like, it is incredible. Like we saw in 2022, there was tools that I just tested, like Copy.ai. I know you've tested Jarvis, I think it was. There was
it's called Jasper now.
Sorry, who Jarvis is Tony Stark, isn't it? Good old Iron Man. Jasper. Then there was an all-in-one social media management kind of content creation tool called Predis.ai. But the AI tool that was on everyone's lips towards the end of last year and is going to continue for this year was ChatGPT or GPT. I'm always getting it wrong.
What's the GPT stand for? Do you know?
Do you know? I honestly don't know.
I don't know everything.
I know. Well, see, I'm only human. If I put a chat into Chat GPT, what does the GPT stand for?
There you go. Have that for next week.
Yeah. Like, there's billions being put into this, and there's even new kind of competitors to that chat tool called ChatSonic. But in effect, what it allows you to do is you can put in a query into the chat box. Let's just say, for example, can you give me a framework to explain the different forms of SEO, inbound, outbound, technical. And rather than going off to Google and try and do all that research yourself, the AI tool within 20 seconds will come back and give you
that framework.
A framework. But
again, you can't rely on it. You have to go away and sort of put more, I'm going to use a food analogy, meat in the sandwich, because I'm always fearful of plagiarism and stuff like that. So having something that will get you to get away that writer's block in a sense, or how to start maybe, the conversation with, in your caption of your, say LinkedIn post or whatever, having something that will trigger, I'll go with that angle.
Yeah. A eureka moment or an idea.
Yeah.
No, you're spot on. And the other thing that people need to be aware of, yes, these AI tools are fantastic. Like, I've seen even people using them for personal stuff, kind of do me a training plan to lose weight or.
Oh God, do you have one of those? Because I could do with that.
No.
It's the first week of January. I'm not doing very well. Like this time last year, I went on that 100 days of walking. It's not happening. I know.
Not happening. Well, maybe do the 1 day of walking. Maybe start that first, Emer,
Or maybe I'll just hold off to the 1st of February, but that's another story.
Yeah. But no, on these AI tools, one thing that people do need to be very much aware of, and I would urge you to go and do the research in relation to Google's take on this, because Google have said that they can identify AI generated content, and as far as they're concerned, they see it as spam. So this is a very interesting. So if you're a business thinking this is fantastic, we get all our content written, generated by AI and uploaded as is, you could be going down a slippery slope of getting a Google penalty. And exactly as you mentioned, plagiarism, inaccuracy. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this year. Will Google jump on the bandwagon and create their own AI tool that's is totally complementary then with their search engine, and then it becomes a different goal by, I suppose, watch this space.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you can there's so many, you could sit and talk about hashtag, right?
Yeah.
But after a while, everyone's starting to say the same thing. So this is where, how do you make that different, about, so again, going back to the florist, Valentine's Day will be coming up soon. Yes, 14th of February. And
God, it's around the corner, isn't it?
So you might want to come up with an ideas for someone, top 10 tips to keep that dozen red roses, living longer, than a week or whatever it is. But then another florist could try and do the same. And then you're kind of wondering, which is the best, so you've got to sort of, can't rely, as you say, on what the AI guys are sending out. You need to change it up and rephrase it and make it sound like you, not just generic.
It has to be the human. And I think that's the big thing for me. I think these tools are fantastic, exactly as you said, for idea generation, for giving you a framework, for just sparking an idea.
Yeah.
But I still think that the content has to be from you, in your style, your words.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if everything is done by AI, artificial, we lose that sense of humanness, I think.
True.
And personality.
Just as well, you didn't get your jokes from there. But anyway, that's another story.
They might have been funny, though.
But you know what? It's like there's always going to be something, again, coming down the tracks, with the old and it's like test to try out what works for you, Exactly. Like one platform that I find is really handy. It was not a platform, it's software. Canva, I would
love Canva. I use Canva.
Yeah. I train people on just getting them onto the basic, let's get you creating. Let's make you a graphic designer. Graphic designers in 3 minutes. And it was funny. I was working with someone last week, and they were going through the different tools, and they went, "This is amazing." And I said, "I know, it's just I kind of just love, being able to show people out there, don't be afraid, give it a little go,
100%.
Just go with start offs, simple, and then go to the next stage, because sometimes, it will be, you'll amaze yourself by saying, you know what, I can actually do this. I can actually go and create a nice quote overlay on a lovely photograph I took of a lovely sunset, or whatever it is. And as you were saying earlier, like the chat AI stuff has come in now, and who knows what will be here in 6 months, that way. So
it'll change again. It'll ever evolve. So Emer, I think what a start to a first show.
Where did that time go?
I know.
And look at him. I'm still on the video.
You're still on the video. Well done. And the Wi-Fi didn't cut out.
I know. Actually, that's always, isn't it always fear? Yeah. Because you always say, are you going to get frozen?
Yeah. No, I think it's great to be back. And
and we are like trying to sort of say to ourselves, we're going to try and change things up, because if you stay the same, it gets boring, doesn't it?
It does. So you have to be fresh. And
not too fresh.
Well, no, just fresh enough. Fresh enough. Fresh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for listening or watching if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you enjoyed today's show, you'll be able to catch all the other shows on the Let's Get Social Show podcast, which you can find on Podbean, iTunes, and on Spotify, as well as the Dublin South FM website, of course. Make sure you go to the website.
Oh, yeah, we need to.
So, do download the episodes and subscribe there. And as Emer mentioned at the start, if there's any particular topics you would love us to cover this year, do email us on info@dublinsouthfm.ie, and we'd be delighted to have a review.
Yeah. So listen, start out with a positive outlook when it comes to social media. It's not the be and end all, But unfortunately, no one is looking up the golden pages or the yellow pages anymore. You have to sort of think outside the box. And,
Exactly.
you know, because that's where, you know, people go and do their research. Everyone Googles.
Yeah.
You know, so it's important to sort of say, look, you can't beat them, join them.
Exactly.
You know?
So make that step into social
Yeah.
for 2023.
Yeah.
So I suppose all that's left to say, Mer, even though you know my name, I've been Philip Twyford.
Have you now? And
have.
I've been Emer Duffy, the nervous video girl. Maybe that's my new tagline.
Maybe. Well done. You got on video today.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Because
as
I say, look, you know, it's good to do it with somebody and just be, you know, because it is a bit of a jump for me, because I said, oh, sure. Who wants to be looking at me? You know, when you're kind of like going, oh, it's a hard enough job looking in the mirror, you know, yourself. But you just kind of feel like, you know, we all have things that we're nervous about doing, and so this was a big jump for me. So
exactly. So well done.
Thank you, Mr. T.
Pass on the back for you, and long may it continue. So so thanks everybody for listening and joining, and we'll be on the air again next Friday for more Let's Get Social.
Yeah, and go check us out on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Will they let us on YouTube?
I hope so.
Thanks a million, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.